Hello everyone, this is Dion Soul. I hope everyone is doing well. And as you see before you, we are looking at the MU2. And the reason why we are doing is I'm doing a follow-up video on the that basically piggybacks behind the previous video. I've been kind of waiting, and sorry, it's been a minute since I've done the last video, and the reason why is I was stalling on purpose before I did this next video, which unfortunately now is the time. It's just like it's got to be. And what's happening is that there was a patch that came out with this aircraft, which is version 2.0.1, I believe it was. And unfortunately, that patch kind of broke the airplane a little bit in some key areas. Minor, but and you can overcome the brokenness, if you want to call it that, of the airplane. But it is what it is, and I didn't want to even do this video in the context of didn't want to put any shade or any bad light on the aircraft, because the aircraft is an awesome aircraft. I've been having a lot of fun with the aircraft, flying with it. I finally got it dialed down a little bit better, still having struggles with landing the aircraft, but all in all, the aircraft has been overall, if I'm gonna put a broad brush on it, it's been a good airplane. And I've been happy with my purchase of this aircraft. The notable things to talk about, I might as well get it out of the way right now. The reason why I was lagging so long for Tom to fix the issues is the nose wheel steering issue that cropped up after version 2.0.1, and basically how to fix the problem is to just never save the aircraft or leave the aircraft with the nose wheel chocks not checked. If you have them checked when you leave and come back, and then you uncheck them, that starts the chain of events where it creates a problem. And what the problem is, as of the recording here of the 5th of August of 2022, is that you no longer have control of nose wheel steering. As you see, I'm moving it right now with my rudder pedals right now. Is that it ends up turning it into a caster type behavior. So when you want to turn the airplane, the nose of the airplane, you've got to give the airplane some roll, and then you've got to, or wheel roll, and I should say, not clarify that, wheel roll, and then use your left and your right toe brakes in order for you to be able to basically turn the nose the direction you want to go. So it becomes a caster type environment, which for this type of an airplane is an extremely bad thing. You get a lot of frustration with that. So again, the workaround is just go into the preferences, make sure that you do not have the nose wheel chocks engaged at any point in time, and then you will never have a problem with that, and you'll have full motion as the developer intended, as Tom intended for you to have it. And Tom is totally aware of the situation and is going in the next patch when things happen, he will fix that. So, but it just hasn't. It's been a couple of weeks, and we haven't got another patch yet. Approximately a couple of weeks since the patch 2.0.1. Also, another thing is the lights right here. I'll just put it in the center of the screen. The taxi light right there. Once you engage the taxi light, you can no longer turn it off. It still functions as a taxi light with no problems during all phases of flight. But once you actually shut the lights off, they just stay on. The graphic just stays on, and it will not turn off. The wigwag lights work fine, and the wigwag works as intended, where they oscillate between the left side and the right side of the aircraft, port and starboard, if you want to call it that. And so, but yeah, once you turn the lights on, that becomes an issue right there. Also, notice that the sounds sometimes the sounds when you're in taxi phase of a flight when you turn it off, will abruptly stop, as opposed to a wind down. That's very rare that happens. Probably on this flight, we probably won't experience that. So I'll say that right off the bat. But I have had that happen where especially when you start the engine on the left engine here, that's looking at us right now, the left engine, when you start the right engine first, and then you remove the GPU, like which is what I do, and then and then you put all the power. The battery, and you take off a battery and you put everything on the generator, on the right side generator. When you start the left engine, it will immediately uh, start. It'll just wind up really really fast, like it's in double speed mode, as opposed to winding up like you would see it do naturally. That's been my experience. We'll actually see if that does it with this particular flight here as I'm recording this video. But that's been my experience before in the past. And also, as I always say, I will have timestamps in the description down below for you guys to skip around to wherever part of the video you want. The overall objective here is to fly here. We are currently here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we're going to go back down to KAEG, which is Double Eagle in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we're going from Santa Fe to Albuquerque, taking the MU2. And this will not be a money flight. This is just to go down there, just to give a flight, just to make it happen. And also, once we get off the ground, after wheels up, shortly thereafter, I will go ahead and kick this into high gear with musical montage to get to the area, and then we'll land. So it's basically start up, take off, crew or climb, land, and then taxi, and then shut off. So, but like I say, so those are the kind of the points there. But basically, I'll just do the middle of the flight. The cruise flight we'll do with a musical montage. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get inside the aircraft right here. Nothing inside here has changed compared to version Odyssey 2.01. Everything else seems to be the same here. No change there. One thing that did change that he did between 2.0 and 2.01 is that you see what also broke was the marker lights. These marker lights now are off track, and then of course it embeds itself on the surface of the air indicator gauge. And what's really weird is that I find when I fly the airplane, I kind of gravitate, or I'm always looking at the analog gauge than I am towards towards the G500. I guess it's just the way I naturally look, as I look towards the big gauge with the big numbers that tells me exactly what I need to know, which is what my airspeed is. Whereas when you get into the G500, everything is condensed in one particular area. Now, probably in the real world, you probably wouldn't have this kind of drama that I'm talking about right now. And I'm basing everything on my personal experience. Your mileage will definitely vary. But for me, that's my personal experience, as I always just seem to gravitate towards the analog gauges, even though I love, glass cockpits and everything else, because it gives you lots of information. But unfortunately, when it comes to the main critical information, it just seems that I gravitate towards the analog equipment over the steam gauges instead of the digital, which is kind of just the way it works out. So on particular stuff, like a six pack or something like that, I just kind of gravitate towards the analog stuff more than I do the digital. But if I flew it all the time and that's all I ever see, then of course, then I would have a totally different perspective on it, and it would have a totally different attitude about it. But because I fly both of them, analog and steam gauge, avionics suites, I just seem to gravitate towards the analog more so than I do the digital, even though I like the digital. Go figure. So anyway, so that's the only other. So that was a notable thing right there. And then one thing that he did fix was that now is that if you grab, or at least let me say it this way. At least I noticed, and when you want to turn on the lights, you can just left click and grab and turn them both on at the same time instead of one individually. I noticed before. before I would always want to bind one or the other and not both. So I think there's just a hitbox in the center now, or it's just maybe I just did something different. Also, too, I can now bind it to uh, my honeycomb yoke switch now, where there's actually a switch for this, where I can turn the landing lights on and off with no issue, along with the other switches as well. Like I say again, the taxi lights, once you turn them on, they do not go off, and of course the wig-wag still works with no issues right there in the center of the screen with the wig-wag with the lights alternating. That works with no issues. Everything else seems to be working just fine. One notable thing that I hope Tom will see this is that the Hobbs meter still does not work. Maybe that can be resolved. It looks like either just the representative analog numerical dials that are supposed to represent the Hobbs meter with the numbers, or if it's a LED or digital, either way, it just doesn't work at all. So that's just one thing that I noticed right there. And of course, all the stuff talking about the other things in a previous video about having the oxygen, shown and all this other stuff. That's all wish list stuff that I would like to see. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this airplane and get this airplane ready to rock and roll. So what I want to do is I want to go over here into weights and balances right here. We're going to zero out everything, and then we're just going to put in the center fuel tank, and that's it. We don't need to go, we're not going very far, so we don't need lots of fuel. Also, he did some manipulation with the throttle quadrant stuff, and so you definitely need to read the instructions in the instructions, which is something I hardly ever do. But when I get in trouble, all those fails, read the instructions. And so yeah, you read the instructions there, and it will tell you how to set up all these up right here to make them work as Tom intended these to work, and so which is a good thing. So. They all work as they, at least as of this version of the aircraft, is 2.0.1. They all are working just peachy keen. So let's go ahead and move this over to the right. Let's go ahead and turn this on, and we already got this set up to pour fuel into the right engine there. We'll go ahead and put out the brakes. So the brakes are out, and then we will go ahead and grab the key from here. And we've got the key in here like this. We'll go ahead and turn the key on. Go ahead and turn this on. But then we need to go ahead and put the GPU on. Go ahead and get the GPU action going on here. Do I have the Yeah, I have the GTN 750 engaged in this particular flight, which is basically all we're going to do is we're going to go to Santa Fe, to KAEG, boom. And that's all we're going to do there, and then we're going to do an arrival, or no, sorry, not an arrival, we don't want that. We want to do approach. Let's just do visual 122, and whoops, I didn't activate it, my bad. And we'll just load it up, get it all ready for us, and we'll just point towards that direction there. Heading 210.
Heading 210 degrees.
Heading 280.
Heading 280 degrees.
There we go. Now I said the right thing. So we got heading mode active right now, or we'll have heading mode active, and we'll have this GPS on right here like this. So we're good to go there. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. I am looking forward to him actually embedding the GTN 750 into the aircraft panel. But what would be even better, and I don't know if this is a thing or not, but I would love it to be a thing, as I'd be willing to give Real Sim Gear more money, is if they would come out with their own version of the GTN 750 that Tom can actually import, and then basically divorce myself away from Reality XP. I'm sorry to say this, guys, the developer for Reality XP, not having the updated data really does become a hindrance, and you are, because the dates are so far out of whack. It's over a year and 6 months old is the last data that the Reality XP GTN 750 is. I would love to see Real Sim Gear actually make a GTN 750 that could be embedded into there. And if they do, please leave me a comment down below, because I know they have the out of the sim version where you actually have the actual GTN 750 with a little screen and everything else. It costs you about $400 or $500 US dollars, and I know they have that. But I was hoping that they'd have the same thing like the GT, like the G500, that they'd actually have the GTN 750, where developers like Tom can actually embed it into the into the panel that way. That would be epic, and I'd be willing to pay $49 for it or whatever. That could transcend to all airplanes like the GTN, like the Reality XP. This Reality XP just seems to me is just not going to update their data. They're going to totally rely on Garmin for the data, and that data is just old, and that just creates a problem, especially if you're flying in if you're flying online and that kind of stuff. Reality XP has definitely got to drop the ball on that, and they need to come up with some kind of solution if they still want new customers, or Real Sim Gear needs to step up to the plate and actually fill the void of not having of having a better product, because Reality XP, sorry to say, it's just not in the cards anymore. I still have it, I still use it because I paid for it, but again, the data is old. So anyway, so that's what's going on there. So let's go ahead and check our. Go ahead and turn our avionics package on right here, and I'll go ahead and turn our switch on right there. And then we'll go ahead and make sure everything is good, because we're going to start these engines with the GPU, so that's why I've got our avionics suite actually currently active, which normally in the real world you probably would not be doing that. Let me go ahead and pick up the ATIS via Active Sky for XP, and Active Sky for XP says the winds are calm, or zero, correction, zero. Winds are at 0 at 3 knots. And so if that's the case, winds are 0. So we can, oh, I don't want to do that. Oops, my bad. I didn't want to, there we go, get rid of that. What I wanted to do is I wanted to actually move this over, or get rid of this stupid little thing here, so I can see what that, runway 2. I guess we could go runway 2, because there is no wind here. There is no NPCs in the world, it's just little old me, so I guess we'll take runway 2. And we will go ahead and put, this is already set to standby, already set to VFR. We already got our fuel taken out here. We need to put this up here. I must hit that on accident. Going up there, everything is fine there. Fine. No breakers I see are popped. And that's another thing that Tom needs to work on, is to make variety numerical values of, unless every breaker in the MU2 is only 3 volt or 3 amps. I find that hard to believe, but hey, you know what? Anything is possible, I guess. We are on RAM Air right now. Air conditioning, I won't turn it on, but I'll put it to auto mode. We'll go ahead and put this at 6,500 feet. That's going to be our landing. And we are currently at 6,000 feet already anyway. Let's go ahead and set up our pressurization right there. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we are good to go here. We're wasting a lot of time here. We're at 16 minutes into this video already, and I haven't even got off the ground yet. So we'll go ahead and throw in all our lights right here. Get our beacon and our taxi light, or sorry, not our taxi light, our navigation light action going on here. And we go ahead and start engine number 2, I believe. We'll go take a look outside, make sure there is nothing in the way. And as you can see, because I turned the taxi lights on the very first time, then turn them back off, you can see they are still on. So it's just the way it goes. All right. So, as Jimmy would say, can I get a clear prop? And then hit the button. And it's not going to work, because you know why it's not going to work? Because I don't have any fuel going to that engine right now. Looky there. Oopsie. We'll wait for it to die down. Wait for the sound to die. My bad. And fuel pressure gone. Okay, now activate. Now we should be able to start the engine. Swig of water. And there it goes. And because you guys have seen me like crazy, you can go ahead and get rid of my ugly mug. You no longer need me. I'll just cough my brains out here, and then we will get on our way. All right, so now we got a good start here. We'll go ahead and now we're going to see these amps ramp up to right around between 75 and 100 amps. And it goes to 40. Make me a liar. Fine, make me a liar. Whatever. I'd give you the middle finger. You see my middle finger right now. All right, so now anyway, that's out of, well, actually it's going to change here in a minute. I will be right here in a minute. So now we got that done right there. So let's go ahead and get rid of the GPU. Boom, GPU is now gone. And now our amps should be, there we go. Now we're right around 75 amps or so. Taking all that load. There you go. That's the way it's supposed to be. Probably not the right way to do things, but that's the way it's supposed to be. All right, so now we're going to hit engine number 1. Well, I got to hit the light. I got to hit the fuel. Let's try that again. I should have just hit those on before I even started either one of them. All right. There we go. See? See how fast that rapidly started up, whereas the first one didn't start up, or the second, yeah, the first start didn't start up as fast, but the second one just rapidly started the airplane. That's, I don't think that's right. It wasn't that way with version 2.0.0, the initial release. Okay, now our generators now are settled back down to where we're right around 25, 26 amps or so, close enough. Prop sync, won't worry about that till once we're airborne. All right, so we are good to go there. Now I can go ahead and turn on the air conditioning and get some air conditioning for myself, because it's burning freaking hot here, I would imagine. Do we have the, yeah, we're 23 degrees Celsius. That's not really that bad. That's probably what, 80, 70 something degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. My conversions are not the best. Okay, altimeter is 3029. So 3029. And let's go ahead and get the ATIS anyway. If it'll do it. No, now it won't do it because we got to turn it on right here.
Double Eagle 2 information November.
That's the wrong one.
1700 Zulu weather.
Oh, we know they're
Wind light and very
so they're going to be 27.
Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 24. Dew point 10.
Okay, well that's good enough. Now we know that Double Eagle is going to be what it's going to be, but we need to know what's going to be here. And what's going to be here, I don't know what the frequency is here. So I know how to get that information. I'll go back here to nearest or whatever. I'll go to Santa Fe, frequencies, ATIS, tune it.
Santa Fe Muni information November. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 22, dew point 16. Altimeter 3029. Arriving runways 0233, departing runways 0233. Advise on initial contact you have November.
Alrighty, so we have November, and I need to get rid of that because it's going to start over again. And there you go. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring up our... we're going to assume we got clearance to be able to taxi, so we'll take it up to taxi. I see the autopilot is on for some reason. We don't want that, because we want to set our... Oh, that's another thing we got to do here. Go ahead and put our lights on here. I like being able to have all the lights. And we'll go ahead and put our taxi in. And let's go ahead and finish out the top panel here, so I don't have to worry about it later. Strobes, the only thing. Strobes and the lights are the only two things we got left we're not doing. Okay. We got the wig-wag action going on. We should have it. Yep. Wig-wag is on. You can hear the... So what we need to do is go... We should be able to go backwards now. Release parking brake. And then go backwards, we can just get out of here. Alrighty. Now we got to figure out where we're going. Okay, what runway is that? That was... Okay, 2's over there. So, hey, good. I'll take it. That's kind of weird. That doesn't look like it's lining up with 2, though. We may have to back taxi. That doesn't look right. So we're going to do a circle here. Put a spin on around. That taxiway didn't look like it's going to go all the way down to the end of runway 2. At all. Just looks like it's just for parking only. So, November 420 Lima Mike, 420 Sierra Whiskey is back taxiing runway 02 for west departure. Santa Fe traffic. Probably garbled that up a little bit, but you know what? I did my best. And we'll go and throw on all of our lights, because now that we are actually on the runway, yeah, see, it would have had it come out right here anyway. Unless there's a way to be able to go down. Oh well, we'll find out here in a second. We could have. There might be a one right over trek right over there. I'd have to look it up, and we're not in a position to look it up right now. And there's nobody here anyway. That rumble of the engines. So cool. I must have had to go a different way. But oh well, that's alright. I guess when I turned the heading on, it automatically turned the autopilot on, and that's not what I wanted. I just wanted the heading ready to go, but not necessarily activate the autopilot. So we'll just come down over here. Line this bad boy up. Crank up the audio a little bit here so you can hear the engines. And as soon as we get in the air, I'll put the headset on because it's going to be very loud. Alrighty. Wish I had a quick button where I could do a still shot and there we are, runway 02. Back off a little bit here. Now I got to make sure everything is set here. I want to be right around 25 to 30 on my pitch trim. I find that seems to work best for me with my hardware and everything, with my experience. And then we need to put this roll trim to right around in the middle-ish or so, right around in there. At least that's been my experience so far. And then we are set. So I want to go to full flight. Holding the brakes. Brakes are still holding. They are not, the airplane's not taking. That's one thing about this airplane is it will take off. We'll go ahead and start our, some people don't. Some people will wait until after you're in the air to actually engage the pressurization, but we're not going very far and this airplane is so overpowered. I don't care. Now maybe the real world, you wouldn't do that. We get to 80%. It should brake here really quick. And then let's go. If I can keep this airplane straight. Okay, we're out of the white, and we are airborne. Positive rate of climb, gear up. We're just about ready to lose runway anyway. Put our flaps up. Pitch our nose down a little bit. A little bit more airspeed here. I want to get right around 160 knots. Try to be above 1,000 feet above AGL, and then I'll intergauge the intergauge. I will activate the autopilot. Still wanting to climb like a mad dog. Let's get that. Get our things right down to below 10 degrees on that ladder. All right. We'll go ahead and bring the autopilot engage. And of course, it's going to dip a little bit here. Speed 160.
Speed 160 knots.
That'll control that. Put our auto select on. Altitude 12,500 feet.
Altitude 12,500 feet.
Altitude 16,500 feet.
Altitude 16,500 feet.
Let's let it continue to climb. I should have said all that before we took off. My bad on that one. All right, so what are we doing? All right, we are coming around. Heading 210.
Heading 210 degrees.
speed 160.
Speed 160 knots.
Now I got it in sync. That was a little shaky, but we're going. And there is Santa Fe. And of course I didn't turn on our thingamajigger. Now we'll go ahead and put our if you look, you can see right now our roll trim down there, our sight glass on our roll trim, and practically in the center of the screen. We got to get that where that is center. So we'll bring it back a little bit to where that is center, and there you go. Now, I don't know why the yaw didn't kick in. Yaw works when it wants to. If I can get rid of that bobbing action going on here. Nope, it's not going to cooperate, is it? As it goes this last little bit, okay, I'll turn off the autopilot, my plane. Now just let it float on down. And come on, come on, come on. So far, so good. Now it's a hard landing. That was a rough one. I definitely have done better. We'll show it on a replay here in a second once we get there. Alrighty, here we go on the instant replay, or the replay. Doesn't look as bad, as hard as what my indicator said. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. It did not too bad. I didn't smash the gear. Yeah, see, I didn't smash the gear too much. So, hey, whatever. I'll take it. I will take it. Alrighty, so now we're going to taxi this bad boy on in. Alrighty, so we'll just pull on over here. And we'll call it a flight. Alrighty. Hit the brakes. See, I don't know. I'm going to have to read the instructions on how to set this up for a proper shutdown because, I mean, all I got to do is just do this and we're done. But you can also hit the valves right here to turn off the engines, to starve the engines of fuel. There's all kinds of different ways to shut off. And of course, I probably wanted to do all this first before I shut off the engine. So that was a very abrupt shut off of the airplane that probably they wouldn't like that. Especially in the real world. Gears up, flaps up, everything is up, everything is set to neutral, everything is off right there. As we can put the key back into the little holder there. And then the pressurization, turn all that off. Air conditioning off. I think we are good to go. So we made it here. Overall, the landing wasn't too bad. I mean, I'm cool with the landing. It was a little hard, but it said hard, but hey, that's what this airplane is designed for. That's why we got these big beefy struts right there. You know, land on those hard landings for people that don't use the airplane often enough. Well, anyway, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys watching. Definitely like, subscribe, and all the stuff that everybody always says, and all that sort of thing. And definitely check out my other the content's the same, but my other host web or video hosting platforms would be BitChute, Odyssey, or Rumble, trying to steer a lot of the content or the user base over there to kind of protect myself away from the big tech oligarchy that we are currently having to endure. I don't usually have to worry about getting canceled or anything like that. And if somebody did cancel me, I wouldn't care anyway. But like I say, I don't make any money, so it's not like I'm getting hurt because I'm not making any money. So all this is an out, and nothing is coming back. So That's why I have more liberty to do whatever, say and do whatever I want because I don't get paid for this. So, and I don't get any donations for this. So anyway, you guys take care and you have yourselves a great one. This is Dion Soul. I hope you enjoyed this video. Overall, the airplane is good. It's got those problems that we discussed at the start of the video that in the next versions hopefully will get worked out, but it's still worth a buy, I think, especially long term. It'll be worth a buy. So anyway, you guys take care. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye.